In high school, I'm again going across town to Oakland Tech High School. And this was a predominantly white high school. Maybe a quarter of the students were African American, a substantial population of Asian Americans, some Latino Americans. In my first year in the 10th grade in high school, my teachers, they all sort of came together and decided that there was this young black kid who they thought was college material. And they would even call my parents, call my mother, or write on the back of my report card, you should encourage your son. He can do college work. Well, they all got together, took me to the principal's office, and they found this scholarship that had been sitting dormant for a number of years. It was an academic scholarship that where someone had endowed the school to provide an academic scholarship for a young, then Negro male. So they put me in for this scholarship, and the principal said, all you have to do is keep doing what you're doing through high school, multi-$1,000 scholarship to the University of California at Berkeley. Well, somewhere around the 11th grade, I discovered girls. And so the gene, your hormones start raging. And I didn't make the baseball team in the 10th grade, which totally broke my heart. And because everybody just knew I was going to make the baseball team. At a minimum, I was going to make the junior varsity team. The only question was whether I would make junior varsity or varsity in my first year. But I didn't make the team. And they had one African-American baseball player in the history of Oakland Tech at the time. And I didn't make the team. And because I wasn't going to the high school where Frank Robinson and Bill Russell and all those guys went McClimans, I only went there a short period of time. And so I didn't make the team. And so high school, I really lost interest when I didn't make the baseball team. So I started acting out, unbeknownst to my mother. And by that time, my mother and father had separated, and both lived in West Oakland, and I was in good communication with both of them. Well, my grades started to go down because I lost interest. But I didn't have the heart to tell my mother that I was blowing it. So I got one of my friends, who was a girl who worked in the principal's office, to get me some blank report cards. Terrible.
Oh, no.
Yes, terrible, terrible. And in high school, girls always seemed to have better penmanship. So I'd have somebody write Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Smith, so and so and so and so. So I actually had two sets of report cards. One that I presented to my mother, where I was getting A's and A minuses the way I was earlier, and one where I wasn't doing nearly as well. And so graduation night comes. My mother puts on her finest, best clothes. My father and my sister, they all come to the graduation to hear the announcement that their son was getting this multi-$1,000 scholarship to the University of California at Berkeley. Not only did I know that I wasn't going to get the scholarship because I totally blew it, I wasn't even sure I was going to graduate from high school because I started cutting class. I mean, I really was, but she didn't know this. So when they called my name and I walked across and they handed me the envelope, well, the way the light hit it, it looked as if nothing was in there. I was scared to death. And so in the walking out, I ran down into the locker room. I was praying, oh, please let me graduate. And I looked, and I did graduate. So we go to dinner, and my mother goes, well, what happened? What about the scholarship? And I said, Mom, tonight I have to grow up and be a man and tell you the truth. I've been lying to you. And I didn't lie just because I wanted to lie. I lied because I didn't want to hurt you. That I blew the scholarship. I've been really screwing up in school, and I am very sorry. And my mother started to cry and said, oh my God, my son, is never going to make it. I said, I promise you I will go to school. I promise you I'll make something of myself. And so I started trying to find a job, and I was either too young, too inexperienced, or at that time I was a young Negro and I couldn't find a job. So my mother comes home one Monday night, and I announced to her in this great shock that I had joined the Marine Corps. And my mother goes, "Oh my God, that's it. I know that's the worst thing ever done." She like literally went through the roof because she thought that that was the end of it.